Are you ready to upgrade your wireless video setup? Well, look no further than Budget Camera's newest arrival, the Hollyland Pyro S. Pyro S is a wireless video transmission system that allows you to broadcast up to 4 receivers simultaneously with low latency speeds of only 50 milliseconds. What makes this transmitter special is its broadcast range of up to 1,300 feet or 400 meters. I'm going to be giving you a brief overview of the Pyro S, as well as giving you some tips so that you're an expert before you get onto set. When you rent the Hollyland Pyro S out at Budget Camera, here is the following kit that you will receive. 1 receiver and 1 transmitter. You also receive a few accessories. You get 6 antennae that you need to place on top of your transmitter receivers. You also have a plug that allows you to plug in your transmitter or receiver directly into external power. Along with a transmitter, it's important that you rent out a monitor to be able to see what you're transmitting. I have a small HD monitor here with me, but I recommend that you rent out our Hollyland Pyro 7. It's in the same system as the Hollyland Pyro S, and it allows you to transmit and receive directly from the monitor itself. I would also recommend that you download the HollyView app to use your phone and or tablet as a monitor device. It also contains some really impressive features that allow you to use false color, zebras, and other impressive features directly onto your device. Some of the impressive features of the Pyro S include an auto frequency hopping system, constantly scans different frequencies to ensure that there is no interference. Dual frequencies of 2.4 gigahertz as well as 5 gigahertz. The final most impressive feature is the broadcast mode. Broadcast mode allows you to simultaneously transmit to up to 4 receivers. If you're not on broadcast mode, you can transmit up to 2 receivers, as well as 2 mobile devices using the HollyView app. This transmitter is user-friendly, durable, lightweight, and also can be used on a wide variety of applications, including film sets, live events, and even streaming. This can be used on both small and bigger scale productions due to the preset feature that it comes with. The transmitter also boasts the capability for streaming. You can either plug in a network key into this USB port that you see here, or connect your receiver to your computer. Once you have the receiver plugged in, go onto an OBS system or any other streaming system that you have to stream directly from your camera, from the transmitter. It's time to help teach you how to set up your Pyro S system. When you take the transmitter and receiver out of the box, you're gonna wanna put your antennas on it. You wanna make sure that you screw on all 3 antennas onto any transmitter and receiver that you might have. You need to make sure you have all 3 or it's not going to work. Pro tip, the Pyro system is not compatible with the Mars system, so you can't use the Mars antennae on the Pyro. The next thing is to set up your transmitter and receiver configuration. Usually you want to put your transmitter onto your camera rig somehow. You can do that with a magic arm or with a hot shoe mount. For your receiver, there's a few different options. You can either have this on a separate stand, or you can have this connected to your computer to stream directly from your camera onto your computer. After everything's been set up, we get to the fun part, finding your power supply. I'm gonna be using some NPF batteries. However, you can actually also plug this into external power using the provided plug. The final option, you are able to connect this to a V-mount battery. You can get a D-tap to DC adapter if that is the kind of battery you are using for your camera setup. Now that you've figured out power supply, it's time to plug in your transmitter and receivers. Today I'm going to be using an HDMI cable to be plugging this into the HDMI port that you can see here. There is also an SDI port. The HDMI port can output a maximum of 4K 30 frames per second, while the SDI can only do 1080p 30 frames per second max. Now, step 4 is simple. Turn it on. There's an on switch directly at the back here. All you need to do, flip it into the on position, and it should just turn on. Hollyland Pyro S is super simple, to the point where when you turn your transmitter and receiver on, if you have everything plugged in properly, you should be able to see a video feed like that on your monitor. However, if there's an issue, move on to step 5. Going through your Hollyland in the menu system to find the group preset option. To get into the menu system, all you need to do is hold onto the black button here, and you're gonna scroll down to group pairing. You're gonna make sure that both your transmitter and receiver are selected onto group A, and you should be good to go. With that being said, here's some tips or tricks to avoid any troubleshooting. If you are using walkie-talkies with a higher frequency, it can actually cause a black screen due to improper cable shielding on your HDMI or SDI cables. Ensure that your cables have the proper shielding, and it's a good rule of thumb to stay about 1 meter away from the actual HDMI or SDI cables if you do have a higher frequency walkie-talkie with you. The Hollyland unfortunately cannot be charged with a USB. You can only use the NPF batteries, the provided external adapter, or you can use a DTAP to DC adapter to actually plug into V-mount batteries. The Hollyland Pyro S is small, lightweight, and so user-friendly, you almost don't need to look at the user manual. You can use it for a variety of situations, whether you're using it on a big or small film production, live events such as a concert, or streaming. If you are interested in renting out the Hollyland Pyro S for your next production, be sure to check out budgetcamera.ca to book it out now.